What Guinness Book of World Record did this ride win? Well, stay tuned to find out. Today on Provost Park Pass, we're gonna do all the secrets revealed of Expedition Everest. Woo! Expedition Everest was announced on April 22nd, 2003. It was for the 5-year anniversary of Animal Kingdom, is why they announced this ride. You believe it's only like 5 years. 2003, they're like, hey, we need a really good ride for Animal Kingdom. So they came up with Expedition Everest. Almost 3 years later, they completed it. They had a soft opening for the ride on January 26, 2006. Then they did the official opening on April 7th, 2006. Almost exactly 3 years after the original announcement. In 2006, Expedition Everest won the Theme Park Insiders Award for Best New Attraction. Now, Expedition Everest actually isn't a replica of the Mount Everest. No, it's not. That is the Forbidden Mountain. If you look right here, it tells you. In 2011, the Expedition Everest became a member of the Guinness Book of World Records for the most expensive roller coaster in the world at $100 million. It's $100 million. That's a lot of cheddar for this ride. It took them 3 years to make this mountain. Now this mountain has over 38 miles of rebarb in it. That's right, 38 miles of rebarb. It also has 5,000 tons of structural steel. That is so much steel. And it has over 10,000 tons of concrete. You got to realize a ton is 2,000 pounds, guys, so there's so much concrete. These structures, the roller coaster, the mountain, and the Yeti are all independently built, meaning that the roller coaster doesn't touch the mountain doesn't touch the Yeti, and the Yeti doesn't touch the roller coaster. All three of them are built independently of each other. It's a marvelous feature and like architecture. It's amazing. The attraction, if you were to look at the attraction straight down, the track makes a giant hidden Mickey, like a Mickey head. It's amazing. It's Disney, just they're like, hey, where can we put a hidden Mickey? Like, how about the track? How about the track, guys? So on Expedition Everest, at 2 points in the ride, the car has to switch track because you go forward, then you come backwards, going on a different track, and then you stop and you go forward, going on a totally different track. The way that it does this is there's a computer and it senses when the car goes through and it switches a track. Now a lot of people think it's like an old railroad where it goes like in a circle like this. No, the track works like this. It's on top of each other like this, and within 6 seconds it flips over. It's like whoop, flips over just like that. It does it within 6 seconds. The track weighs 200,000 pounds. Wow, and it's able to do that in 6 seconds. That's amazing Imagineering feat. Expedition Everest is 199.5 feet tall, making it the tallest faux mountain in all of Walt Disney World parks. You might be asking yourself, well, why didn't they just make it 200 feet tall? Why did they lop off the 6 inches? The reason is because Florida has a law that anything that's 200 feet or taller has to have a red aviation light for airplanes. So Disney lowered it by 6 inches, and they don't have to have that on top of their beautiful mountain. Sneaky, sneaky. The biggest drop, 80 feet. The top speed is 50 miles per hour. Woo. At the end of the ride, the kind of car goes into this, like not like a loop, but like an embanked corner. You experience up to 3 Gs at that point. What? If you haven't heard, at Provost Park Pass, we are doing this massive giveaway. We're giving away 100 gifts or 10 trips to Disneyland or Disney World. That's right, it's gonna be amazing. The contest is 100K by New Year's Day. If we can do that, we're doing this huge giveaway. So, in order for you to be eligible, all you have to do, subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. That's it. It's that easy. Boop, 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 boop. So go ahead and subscribe, everybody. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your dog, whatever. Subscribe to this channel. The faster we hit 100K, the faster we do this amazing giveaway. And these gifts are going to be awesome. All Disney merch. Woo! Here is the height sign. It's 44 inches tall to ride the ride. Now, if you'll notice, the footprint of the Yeti is exactly 44 inches tall. So have your child stand next to the Yeti footprint. And you can see there's red on the corners, there's red at the entryway and red in the corners, because that wards off evil spirits in Himalayan culture. See those red corners? keeping the evil spirits out. Here's the thing, in Disneyland, they have the Matterhorn, which has the abominable snowman. Here at Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom, they have Expedition Everest, which has the Yeti. So one park has the abominable snowman, the other has the Yeti. If you look over here at the building, as it gets closer and closer to the mountain, the side of the building that's facing the mountain is completely 100% red because they're so afraid of the Yeti that they painted the whole building red. This whole side over here is red against the mountain because they don't want the Yeti who lives here to come over here. The Yeti is, oh, it's so sad. So here, the Yeti is one of the most sophisticated animatronics that's ever been built for the world of Disney. It stood at 25 feet tall, had over 1,000 snaps to close it and zippers on the skin to make it look amazing. When it was in full operation, it could move side to side by 5 feet and up to 18 feet up. Now the thing is, this thing was very heavy and it was running for a couple of months and it was amazing. I never got to see it personally working. But apparently it was so big and so massive, it started to do some structural damage to the ride. Remember, the Yeti, the roller coaster, and the mountain are each individual things. They're not built together. The Yeti moving around started to shake the mountain and the track, so they had to stop it. Now that's why we get what some people term the Disco Yeti, where they do a little bit of like motion, making you look through flashing lights. In 2013, Joe Rohde, who was the main Imagineer who handled this ride, was asked at D23, what about the Yeti? He said, you know, it's a very complex thing. It's hard to fix because it's inside a mountain with a roller coaster around it. They tried all these different ways to try to get it to work, and none of them has been really successful yet. But he did promise at some point he was gonna make it work again. Joe, you've done so much for us. Don't even worry about it. See the wood on top of the roof? That is a sign of wealth in Nepal. The more wood you have on your roof, the richer and more wealthy you are. So look at this. This would be a very wealthy, wealthy person. As you're waiting in line, you're gonna see there's a bunch of gear here, like harnesses and bolts and gloves, and even some like carabiners. This is actual gear brought all the way from Nepal. Some of this has been all the way to the top of Mount Everest. It's amazing. All brought back from Nepal. The faces have red on their face. That's because they're warding off those evil creatures from coming out. As you're waiting in line, you're gonna walk through an office. Behind you, you see some computer equipment, all that. Everything that you're looking at here came from Nepal, including the computers, telephone, cassette decks, all of it. There's one of the hidden Mickeys in the window. If you look right there, you see it got punched out? Hidden Mickey right there. As you're waiting in line to get on Expedition Everest. To create this lowlands here at this base camp, they have over 900 bamboo plants, 10 species of trees, and 110 species of shrubs. The story is that you are going to a mythical city called Shurka Kong. Shurka Kong is where you're gonna catch a travel agency, the Himalaya Adventures, to go up on Mount Everest to see, to go up on the Forbidden Mountain so you can see a Yeti. Wow, what a great story. There is so much detail in this line. Local beliefs say that the Yeti is the guardian of the Forbidden Mountain and the sacred realm of the Himalayas. As you go through the line, you're gonna see like this little wishing well. All the money that's thrown in there is picked up and donated to the Animal Conservation Fund. Visitors, please respect the ancient Mandor Pagoda, which honors the Yeti protector of the sacred mountain. Carvings date back to the reign of His Majesty King Parthia, I don't know how to pronounce that, in the 17th century. As you're walking through the temple, you're gonna see a whole bunch of bells hanging down. You can ring those bells and reach up and touch them. Just right now, I'm afraid to touch anything, but you can. Bing, 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 bing. It's like a little prayer bell. As you're waiting in line, you're gonna enter into this old tea house. This is supposed to be a museum run by a professor named Professor Pumba Dorje. And he's a biologist that believes in the existence of the Yeti. Okay, so when you're waiting in line, you can see there's a little Mickey Mouse hat right there. When you're waiting in line, there's a hidden Mickey Mouse hat right by the Yeti. That's the name of the city that we're in, Shurkazong. Or show some apparel you can get, apparently, for tourism. Over 8,000 artifacts and things have been brought back from Nepal to put on display here. 8,000 things. It's amazing. These photos over here show actual traders who have been, some of them have been up to the top of Mount Everest. And here's the tea company. And if you look here in the case, every one of those masks is actually authentic except for the Yeti. These are all some of these, all different items and things that have been found here in the Himalayas. Respect the power of the Yeti. It's your massive Yeti footprint. So this footprint is actually an actual cast of the Yeti that's on the ride. That's how big it is. Oh man. The opinion expressed by the curator of the Yeti Museum in no way reflect the views of the owners and operators of the Himalayan Express tours and expeditions. Trying out a little distance there. This is a real Sherpa actually. He's summited Everest and he comes here and rides this ride. And every time he does, he stands here and gets a picture. Isn't that awesome? These are real Sherpas. Check this out. This is Pembra. He was the fastest ever to ascend Everest in 8 hours and 10 minutes. Right here, we have Temba. He actually scaled Mount Everest at the age of 16. And then right down here, we have Appa, who did this. The greatest number ever Everest ascents at 13. Maybe you who's watching this will make this right here. These are supposed to be steam-powered trains, and they used to have steam come up when the ride would come in to make it look awesome, but they don't do that anymore because of COVID. The engine is in the back, complete opposite of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. You lucky ducks, Chris Cam. Oh. I love that feeling of going up a hill on a roller coaster right before the drop. Oh, I love it. It takes 6 seconds for the track to switch. 6, 4, 5, 6. And we're off. Great ride. So fun. That ride is so good. It's so fun. Oh, I love it. This one's a hard stop. Hang on, watch. So right when you exit the ride, on the left-hand side, you can see some totems right over here. These totems are kind of sitting by some benches. You can sit and take a look at them. They're kind of cool. But over here by this wall over here, you can see where people can't touch them. These are real totems that have been carved in Nepal, and they're carved in wood, and they're set over there because they don't want, you know, they're very valuable and they're very cool. And so they are a little bit off to a distance there. So you can see these wonderful, wonderful totems. Aren't they just awesome? Also at the exit, you're gonna see these flags up here and these stones on the wall over here. These are called prayer flags. And what you do is you write a prayer on that flag, or you put something there like a wish or a prayer, and you hang it. Then as time, it'll fade and fade and fade, and eventually it'll just start to fall apart. That means that particular prayer or wish has been granted. As you can see, these ones here are starting to fade and fall apart. These wishes have been granted. Now, if you have a very, very, very important wish that you really want to have come true, then you would carve it in stone. And then as time goes on, as the stone begins to fade and wears off, that wish would then happen. These last longer because they're harder to obviously weather. It takes a lot longer to get this carvings off the stones. So these would be something very important that you want to pass on from generation to generation with your family. To fade at all, this one's very intricately carved. But you come over to this one's been around a long time and starting to wear. Maybe another 100 years or so, this prayer will be answered. Also, at the exit of the ride, you're gonna see these handprints. You see these handprints? Kind of in these, like, you're like, what are these handprints? Well, what these are is, that's yack, it's supposed to be yack dung. And what they do there is they put the yack dung against the wall, they push it down with their hands, and then it dries and becomes stronger than concrete. It's easier for them to repair a wall with yak dung rather than using concrete. So that's what those handprints are. Boop, 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 boop. So if you want to touch yak dung, touch that wall. Beep, 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 beep. So I don't recommend touching anything right now in this day and age, but you can. You want Disney secrets revealed? We got you covered. You want all kinds of cool Disney facts? We got you covered. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. By the way, did you know that our Patreon members get an extra video every single week for as little as $3, a month? $3 a month, where Amanda and I will answer any one of your questions. $3 a month. That's what, like a Happy Meal for extra video every single week? All right, guys, talk to you later. Subscribe.